Let me know when everybody's up. Ready. Good. All right, so I got Assistant Chief Bashir and Executive Assistant Chief Hatcher standing with me. Just want to say good afternoon, but it's really not a good afternoon. We had an officer-involved shooting. One officer was injured. Is here in Memorial Hermann Hospital, and I want to first of all thank them for what they do for us, not only law enforcement and first responders, but what they do for our community every day, 24/7, saving lives. So I just want to say thanks to them. Our officer is here receiving treatment. There was one suspect that engaged with our officers, and I'll go back up and go over detail in just a second here. He was transported. He was a young Hispanic male, and he was transported to the hospital, but he's pronounced deceased at the hospital. Our officer that was injured is a 20-year-old officer, 5-year veteran, a patrol officer from the West Side Patrol Division. He sustained at least one gunshot to the leg, and like I say, he's receiving treatment. The mayor was briefed on everything that's going on out here. He spoke with the family, beautiful wife, mother, father. My officer has a young, about a 20-month-old baby. We ask that everybody pray for him, but it's always great to see family and friends coming to the hospital, and all of the officers giving a lot of support here, but that's what we do in this great city and our police department. But let me back up and go over some of the details. So approximately 10 a.m., a little bit after 10 a.m. this morning, our officers spotted a vehicle that was taken in an aggravated robbery, carjacking, the previous day at 59 and Beechnut. Officers got behind the suspect, didn't alert using any emergency equipment or anything. Somehow the suspect was alerted and decided to flee officers. Officers then pursued the suspect. The suspect drove northbound on 59, and as they got right there at the 610 loop, there was a violent crash. He crashed in several vehicles. He got out the vehicle, and the officers got out. He engaged and shot one of our officers. He went down at that time. Other officers came. The suspect carjacked somebody the previous day. They're on the scene. Attempted to carjack 2 other individuals while engaging. I can tell you that at least 3 officers, and this is fluent. That scene is still active out here, and I'm just telling you what I know right now. We don't know how many officers discharged. We're going to determine that probably later on today, but at least 3. Multiple shots hit the suspect, and again, he's deceased. Again, our officer is okay. As per policy, our officer will be placed on administrative leave. Our special investigative unit and will conduct the criminal part of the investigation, and our internal affairs will conduct the administrative part of the investigation. I want to say this is so important. Our great city, and we've been through a lot here, and I want to touch on some other incidents before I turn it over to Victor Cintiez with our PIOs to translate in Spanish. Tough day, but what I celebrate is our citizens, our police officers. There's one citizen out there who has had some trouble with law enforcement in his life, but today he and a few other citizens, along with our officers, when that officer went down, they pulled him to safety. And I want to celebrate that. And I want to share this with the public because it's so important. People make mistakes, but a truly reformed individual is a person that we can use. And he stepped up, and other citizens stepped up, and I don't want that to get lost. It'll be a time that we'll acknowledge him formally and say his name, but I just want to thank him and other citizens and our officers. And let me speak to, and I always do, the human element. People don't understand what our officers go through day in and day out. And as chief, I meant to say, I'm extremely proud of what they do every day, and their families go through a lot. So let's continue to pray for everybody, pray for our officers. As suspect, he has a family. I don't know what motivated him to do what he did today, but everybody has a family, and we pray for everybody. But thank God our officer's in a good place here at Memorial Hermann, and they're taking care of him, and we expect him to make a full recovery. Before I turn it over, I want to discuss just a few more incidents that happened. It's been a tough 24-hour period. As we know and we've seen in the news, there were 4 homicides in our city, relational type of domestics, most of them. And we're praying for all of those families involved. Also, this morning downtown at just after 2 a.m., 6 individuals deceased in a crash. And that's just tough. And I know it's Veterans Day, and I want to speak to that just here in a second. But 6 individuals, young people, deceased, and 2 in the hospital. One is in critical condition, and the other one is stable. So do what our city does in any tough times. I'm so proud of this region and this city, what we do. We bend and we mend together, and we hold people up in their pain. So I'm asking that you'll do this, and it is Veterans Day. It has been a tragic day in our city, but I want to thank all our veterans for what they have done for our nation. But had it not been for them, we don't have the freedoms that we have today in every state, every city, every county, every neighborhood. So I want to thank them. But I'll step down before we get to questions. And Vic, if you could translate. Thank you.
Victor, tell them Linda's on their way in.
Yeah, we're good. We'll get it. Yeah, we're good.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Víctor Sentíes, soy el vocero del Departamento de Policía de Houston y voy a dar un pequeño recuento de lo que acaba de decir el jefe Finner. A eso de las 10 de la mañana, nuestros oficiales recibieron información y vieron un vehículo que concordaba con la descripción de un vehículo que fue robado ayer en Houston. Ellos recibieron la información y el vehículo fue visto en la carretera 59 cerca de la calle Beechnut. Los oficiales llamaron por asistencia, luego de ahí intentaron hacer una parada de tráfico y de ahí se inició una persecución que resultó en un choque muy violento que sucedió por la 59 y la carretera 610. El sospechoso en ese momento se bajó del carro y tuvo un intercambio de disparos con el sospechoso, quien fue herido ahí en la escena. Uno de nuestros oficiales también resultó herido en la pierna y fue traído aquí al Hospital Memorial Hermann, y se le agradece todas las labores que han hecho los doctores aquí en el hospital para ayudar a nuestro oficial. El sospechoso fue llevado también al hospital y fue pronunciado fallecido. También durante este intercambio de disparo tenemos entendido que el sospechoso intentó robar por lo menos 2 otros vehículos. Esas víctimas están bien, no resultaron heridas serias. Lo que tenemos entendido es por lo menos 3 oficiales de nuestro departamento descargaron su arma. Todavía estamos en el proceso de conducir la investigación con la unidad de investigaciones especializadas y también la División de Asuntos Internos, y obviamente el procurador del condado de Harris también va a estar involucrado. También queremos agradecer a una persona que en el pasado ha tenido problemas con la ley y hoy es un buen ejemplo de lo que uno puede hacer para dar un giro en su vida. Esta persona, al ver el oficial que fue herido, tomó la decisión de ir a sacar ese oficial de peligro y lo arrastró de ahí. Después de que él resultó herido, lo arrastró detrás de un vehículo para que ya no resultara herido. Y ese es un buen ejemplo, como dijo el jefe Finner, es un buen ejemplo de cómo personas que han tenido problemas en el pasado pueden dar un giro a su vida. También queremos recalcar que ha sido un día sumamente difícil para todos, comenzando con 4 homicidios que sucedieron, que se cree que posiblemente son resultados de violencia doméstica. Esos casos están bajo investigación y también con un choque que sucedió ahora en la madrugada en el centro de Houston que dejó un saldo de por lo menos 6 personas muertas, 2 personas hospitalizadas, una de ellas en condición crítica. Y queremos rezar por todas esas familias que ahora están sufriendo por esas tragedias. Y además, hoy siendo Día de los Veteranos, el jefe Finner también quiere dar un 1000 gracias a todos los veteranos y a aquellas personas que dieron de su vida para que tuviéramos estas libertades que teníamos el día de hoy. Gracias.
Thank you. Before I entertain questions and moving back to the crash scene this morning, we'll at some time when it's appropriate, when all family members are contacted, as well as releasing the information on our officers, we'll release all that probably sometime tomorrow, maybe, but when it's appropriate. And just ask the media, even on the crash, respect the families, and let us get proper notification out before we put anything out publicly and officially, okay? Go ahead with questions.
Chief, how long was this pursuit going on before?
I understand a little bit at 4 minutes, a little bit under 4 minutes, but let me speak to that right quick because it's been a whole lot of talk on pursuits. And we changed the policy for the better, and we've seen some improvements, but yet and still there's a heck of a lot of dangerous individuals out in our community. And when they steal cars, they commit violent crimes. But it was 4 minutes, and I want to commend our officers for what I know right now, and like I said, it's fluent, adhering to our policy. But at the same time, we're not going to let these violent suspects take over our city. And we always are sad when it's injuries or a crash, but we have to control those violent individuals in our city. Okay?
When the crash happened, how many other vehicles were involved?
I'm not sure. I hadn't been out there to the scene. I intend to. I wanted to come up here immediately and check on my officer and his family, which is to me as the chief most important. I got a whole team of individuals out there, but we'll get out there and as part of the investigation, and as we determine more facts, we'll push them out to the public. Okay? Next. Go ahead.
So you say, so the suspect gets out of the vehicle, tries to steal another car?
Not just one, two.
And then
Two. And at the same time, engaging our officers. I do want to, and you know this is part of the investigation, I want to look at the video myself, and I always say it's fluent. It's a preliminary investigation. Things change a little bit, but what I'm told and what's clear to everybody out on the scene, he tried to carjack several individuals, two individuals. The third was the day before. He allegedly carjacked another citizen. So, okay.
So
Next.
this Good Samaritan that helps the officer, was he one of the people that was attempted to be carjacked? Is that?
I'm not sure on that. I just know that he and I understand some of our officers and one or two more citizens pulled our officer when he went down behind the cover of another vehicle out of the line of danger. So.
How many people was it who pulled him out?
At least two citizens and several officers. So, again, the exact numbers I don't know right now until I get out there. Okay. Anything else?
Did you say the victim from yesterday of the carjacking was also at today's scene, or?
No, sir.
Okay.
No. Just was trying to just clarify. First carjacking that was away from this scene and yesterday, but today, after you shoot at an officer, you still engage and fire rounds and try to carjack two additional citizens. That's the kind of stuff that people got to understand that these officers are faced with every day. And again, I'm very proud of the way that they performed today.
The man, what kind of track record did he have?
Who was that?
The man who died today.
Oh, I don't know yet. I don't have any positive identification. We'll push that out when we get it.
Is there any age range that you could provide?
They told me young male, so young adult, not a teenager. So probably in his 20s. So, but we'll clarify that later.
And just to clarify, the officer, you said, how old was he?
29 years old, 5 years of service, West Side Patrol.
How old was is the officer?
29 years old. Yep, 5 years of service, West Side Patrol. You had a question, sir. Go ahead.
What was it that prompted the officer to begin tailing the suspect? What did he recognize?
His scar was taken in aggravated robbery, carjacking. So, yeah. Okay.
You said that aggravated robbery happened near 59 at Beach Night?
No. The day before. The day before, away from the location.
Is it any clear what location it was?
We'll get that for you a little bit later. Yeah. Go ahead. Did you have something? I'm sorry, you just went. Is that it? Hey, thank y'all, and